Now, the BBC has found evidence of a considerable COVID death toll in China's rural areas as the virus spreads from the big cities into more remote regions with older populations. In rural areas, there are only sparse medical facilities, and those who die at home are mostly not counted. Our correspondent Stephen McDonnell has been to Shanxi province, where many return to celebrate the Lunar New Year.
The coffin makers in northern Shanxi province have been busy. There's been great debate about the number of COVID deaths in China's cities, but there's still no official death toll for rural areas. Yet what you see if you visit local crematoriums is that a lot of people have died. In fact, all those we meet who are working in the funeral industry speak about an explosion in demand. Orders for these paper funeral ornaments are being placed at 2 or 3 times the normal rate because of coronavirus deaths, according to this man.
Some sick people were already very weak. Then they catch COVID, and their elderly bodies can't handle it.
The government has announced more than 70,000 COVID-related deaths in China's hospitals. But these rural areas have only sparse facilities, and many pass away at home, so they're mostly not being counted.
She had severe diabetes. After she got COVID, she had a high fever and her organs began to fail. Her immune system wasn't strong enough to make it.
Wang Peiwei has just lost his sister-in-law. The mother of 2 was in her early 50s. He says the cost of Buddhist funeral images like these has skyrocketed because of the speed of the deaths.
She was a great person. We must hold a grand event to send her off, the best we can afford.
For the Spring Festival, hundreds of millions of younger people have already returned to their hometowns. Places mostly populated by the elderly who are more at risk from COVID.
These are the fireworks, the pictures, the lanterns and the snacks the Chinese people buy to help them ring in the new year. It's normally a very joyous time. In fact, the most important festival in this country. But this year people won't necessarily be so happy because they may well have lost friends or loved ones to the coronavirus.
Everyone seems to know somebody who's died. I ask this farmer about what appear to be new graves nearby.
Families have been burying their elderly relatives. There are just so many.
He points to the fresh mounds of earth. They're marked with red flags. In his village of a few thousand, he says more than 40 people have passed away during the outbreak. But they're hoping that COVID's worst work has been done and that the fields where they toil won't be filled with more of their loved ones in the near future. Stephen McDonnell, BBC News, Shanxi Province.